Like,
where would you want to take your last breath? Like if you get to choose.
Hopefully Sri Lanka. I don't know how we haven't even been 5 minutes into the podcast. Like, Malinda, how do you imagine you are deaf?
This is Malinda Perera. Let me introduce you with this.
That's a shitty fucking introduction, man.
Do you know the day?
I will be coming to Cyprus every time I get an invitation.
Yeah,
man, I loved it.
He loved it.
I loved it. Unfortunately, we didn't have that much time in Nicosia, but in Limassol, man.
Yeah.
Like the city, like is it a city or a village?
You tell me. I don't know. What do you think?
Because here's the thing, like it's hard for me to judge because whenever I'm walking with you anywhere, it's like I'm walking with a fucking superstar. Like you have to fucking stop every 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes, some guy comes and talks to you. It's like you need to look at it in this perspective. Like it's first of all, we are delusional. Right? Every single comedian who has touched their mic to fucking tell a joke is delusion, right? There is no, like, how
we are dreamers, we are dreamers, not delusional.
Well, like,
we have a vision.
Like, imagine like me quitting a job as a researcher at the university and thinking like, you know what, man, I'm making people laugh and I'm gonna make it my career. Like,
what a jungle, what a chaos.
It is a jungle. It's the most toxic art. It's the competitive art, like, you know, and the pain and trauma you have to go through when a show doesn't sell well or go well. Like, man, like, we are delusional. I think that's the headline of the podcast. That's the title of the podcast. We are delusional. We are delulu. In the beginning.
Why are you gay?
Like, yeah.
Why are you delusional? There is Malinda Perera, an amazing actor, man. Like wherever you see him, he does more or less the same thing, but it's like his whole shtick is that he pronounces things in a very artificial, pronounced but funny way. Like instead of like pleasure, he's gonna say plaisir. But the way he says it and when he says it, like whenever he talks, like you see the series and when he talks, you're waiting for it to happen. You're just waiting when.
Which word is he gonna?
Yeah, and you never expect it. It's never the one you expect, and when he does it, you're like, oh my god, you laugh out. Like he gets me every time. I always take it back to listen to it again. It never has the same effect the second time, so you still appreciate it.
So is it a sitcom now, or is it still a mockumentary?
It's filmed as a mockumentary. What We Do in the Shadows. There is a TV crew. There's a camera crew that supposedly does a documentary about them. So they talk to the camera. It's like The Office. Yeah. So we never get to know. Anyway, why am I bringing this up? Because one of his most amazing, like really funny deliveries is how he pronounces New York City.
Okay.
And he goes New York City, something like that. And like the way he does it, I cannot think of New York City. Just New York. It's always New York. Are you comfortable?
I'm trying to make sure that like
what?
It doesn't get wrinkled like this. Look at this now. Like,
that's just your belly, man. I mean,
I'm bloated.
What,
you know
what?
I'm bloated.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's temporary. It's not.
So I'm trying to figure out. Like
number 20 Comedy Club
like
Vienna.
No, it's N20.
N20.
It's laughing gas.
It's laughing gas. You see, you're a researcher.
Don't put that part on the fucking.
Which one?
Me doing
snoring.
My nose. Yeah.
Can you want to explain why you're like that? Because you might do it again. We're not going to be editing the entire podcast. Like whenever he does.
Nah, it's just like it's when there is nothing on your nose, but it's in your sinus.
I thought it was because of the allergy.
Yeah, it's because of the allergy. So things get stuck. Like I don't know how else to clear it, because blowing your nose is not going to take it out as well. So you try to fucking clear it out somehow. So
So-
it's either blowing the nose, so that won't help, or you fucking try to inhale it and try to get it out. Like, so it's fucking mental. It's so annoying that I have to do it.
So this is Malinda Perera. Let me introduce you with this sound. I think it's just as good as any entry.
And don't start with that. That's a shitty fucking introduction, man.
Like I was talking and kept doing this and that. I was like,
Yeah, I was trying
is
to
he
look
even
good,
listening?
you know?
Is he even listening?
I was trying to look good, you know, like
You look good, man.
I-
Just chill out. You look good. You look good. You have your suave about you.
Mhm.
You taught me an amazing song.
What's the song?
It's all about location.
The
Location. What's it called?
Location.
Location.
That's the name of the song.
There are like 3-4, like a lot of songs called Location. But
Yeah.
who's the singer?
I think it's Dave and Burna Boy.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
look it
have
up.
to check.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Have we started this now?
Yeah.
Nah,
What's your problem? What's like
what?
what?
Now, what if I told you a wrong fucking name about the song?
It's fine. You can look it up and correct it. I mean, we have
Yeah.
time for this, and the
Alright.
audience has patience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they can check it as well. So while Malinda is checking to fact check this location song,
I'm
which is really fun.
usually, yeah, that's Dave. I'm
Dave.
usually not
Yeah.
wrong. I like if I'm not sure of something, I usually say I don't know, man. Like, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
I need to double check, but yeah, it's Dave and Burna Boy.
Are you going to let me introduce you or not?
Let's go. Let's do this, man.
So Malinda, you're a Sri Lankan comedian who lives in Austria.
Yes.
You've been doing comedy for how long now?
It will be 9 years. Like in October, it will be 9 years.
Happy birthday, man. Happy comedy day. Do you celebrate, like, do you know the day?
Yeah.
The day you started?
Yeah.
Actually, I know it as well.
2016, October 16.
Do you celebrate it?
Well, I usually try to do it. So I debuted my first solo special in 2020 on the exact same day.
Makes sense, makes sense.
I wanted to, like, so 2 years ago I wanted to release my special. So after editing and everything, it took, like, you know how editing and all that shit takes. So I wanted to release it in October 16th. So like the 5-year anniversary of me doing comedy. So on the 4th years of doing comedy, after 4 years, I did the special. I debuted the special, and then after touring, I think in 2023, I wanted to release it in. I wanted to release the special online on the 16th of October, but it didn't come through
So
because my
it's a date that you keep coming back to.
Yeah, but I would not like pop bottles and like, you know, like go out and I was like, yeah, let's celebrate. Nah, it's not like that. But like it's on that day, like, you know, even if I don't have a show, I will at least try to do an open mic.
Yeah, it's
Just
a point
to-
of reference.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we create our own story, our own timeline, and we have our own checkpoints. Let's say. It's
Yeah.
like a checkpoint that you come back to and you try to make it mean something. to
Yeah,
you.
man. I mean, it means a lot.
Yeah.
That's a day that fucking changed my life.
Yeah, I mean, to keep having a relevance of
Yeah.
that, like that day, yeah, it changed your life, huh? So before we go into that deep waters,
For the best or the worst, still have no clue. It did fucking change my life. Like, you
it
know,
was a change.
we are still in that
The verdict
exploring
is- the verdict.
stage. Because it's always like that, man. Like, you never know.
You're exploring the world with it.
Oh yeah, man. So happy to be here in Cyprus, man. It's my first time.
Yeah, how are you liking it?
Fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, thank you for bringing me in.
Well,
I think we've been talking about it a lot during this.
yeah, we've been talking about that a lot.
And
we had a
before we
good
go
time.
any further, like,
Yeah.
let me apologize. Like, you know, this is not how I sound. This is not how I look. Like, this eye still is affected by the allergic reaction yesterday.
Yeah, it's full of cats. He says that he's allergic to some cats. Not
Yeah,
all
some cats, not all.
How do
cats.
we pick which ones, man?
I don't know, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like you have to just you just have to get allergic.
You
to
judge
it.
them by the eye.
Like, you never know until it's happened.
Dude, you're a researcher. You have to like conduct the research and like.
Yeah,
have
but I'm not in the research. I wasn't in research in biology or some shit. Like, you know. So if you are in that field, figure it out why people are allergic to some cats and not. But it's normal, right? People
I have no idea.
People can be allergic to some berries, not all berries. Like, you know,
Yeah, if it's different type of
like
berries, but like
even shellfish, you know, like you're not allergic to all shellfish. Like it's either a shrimp.
yeah, but you think cats as in a whole, like they're like the same thing.
Yeah, I'm
so-
pretty sure I'm not allergic to tiger or something. Like, you know, if I go near a tiger, I don't think I will have enough time to like, hey, let's check if I'm allergic to you, like just before you eat me. Like, you know, it's
I don't want to die uncomfortable, you know.
yeah, like you
I don't
know,
want to be like.
yeah. Like your entire sinuses are like sinuses clogged and shit. Like, you know.
I want my last breath to be like.
I don't know if that's possible anymore with
What?
this world going on.
What connection was that? Like you
Like
made it
to have a
political?
peaceful breath.
Last breath. Huh?
Like peaceful last breath, it will be. It's all polluted now, so there's no such thing called
So where do you?
and a comfortable breath. Let's put it that way. Like,
where
you know,
would you want to take your last breath? Like if you get to choose.
hopefully Sri Lanka, man.
Hopefully Sri Lanka. By the
It's my
sea.
soil. Well, it doesn't really matter, but most likely it will be like
Doesn't matter.
by
It
the
just
sea.
has to be Sri
It will
Lanka.
be probably, yeah, man. It's my soil, you know. That's I don't know how we haven't even been 5 minutes into the podcast. Like, Malinda, how do you imagine your death? Like, what the fuck?
Go deep, man.
like, why would you think about the last breath? Like, you know, 5 minutes into the podcast.
Because you brought up a tiger that's eating you and you want to have clean sinuses when
See,
that
this
happens.
is the problem with two comedians talking, you know, like our stories shift. Like, it all started with like an allergic reaction that I wanted to just explain. Like, this is not the usual.
Me.
Yeah.
I breathe well. I don't talk about death. I'm a fun guy.
Normally, I'm not like, you know, like breathing like.
But we have so many cats, so it
Yeah,
was statistically
man.
bound to happen with you in Cyprus. I mean,
Well, again, the reason why it is, I was like in a very, very close proximity with the cats.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know.
I was in a very close proximity. That sounded very. I was in a close proximity with the cats.
Yeah,
Like,
man. Because yesterday what happened was like the cat came right next to me and sat down and like tried like, you know, get him. I was petting the cat
Yeah.
and I accidentally forgot and then I touched my eye. So that's what happened yesterday.
So it's 100% on you, I guess.
yeah, it's not the cat's fault. Like, I'm never blaming the fucking cat. So if a dog licks, like if a dog's
Yeah.
saliva touches my face, I'm fucked. It's gonna get itchy and I'm gonna be like, ah.
Okay.
Only my face. No, anywhere else is fine.
My God, like these are very strict
Weird shit, man. It's
requirements. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You see, like, you know, like sometimes, like even with everything, like, you know, they say like, you know, God created the strongest soldiers and that's
What?
like God create like God sent all the hard work to the strongest soldier, like, you know,
Yeah.
like you know,
Ah.
the more things that you have to face in life, that means you're a strong, like, you know, God have like, I'm not a God, like I'm a Buddhist, but like, you know, that's the saying, like, you know, you're like only the strongest soldiers get the hardest life. I'm like, I'm not strong anymore. I'm done. Like, you know, send me easy stuff now. Like all these years, like, you know, 38 years of life, I've done strong shit. Like, you know, I'm done. Send me easy. I'm not like, who told I am strong?
Who told you that?
Like, exactly. Like,
Give that information. Like,
like, why would anybody like think like, you know what, Malinda, he's a strong soldier.
he's a strong soldier.
Make his life miserable, and he will come. Like, nah. Like, I like, send me easy shit, man. It's enough.
I've paid my dues. I've
Like, you know,
I've
like,
done my homework.
like I can't pet a dog without the dog licking my
Dude,
fucking face.
that's a pleasure.
I can't like touch a cat without like worrying that if I'm gonna have an asthma attack, like, you know. I'm cool, man. Like now, you know.
That's one of the things that, because I'm a single guy, like whenever I meet like a potential partner and I got to like share this kind of things that I have, like that they sound weird, I feel like Yes, I am like I experience these things as flaws, as drawbacks. Like yes, I'm a
Red
weird.
flags.
No,
That's
the red
that's the
flag.
term they call them
No.
nowadays. Huh?
No, it's more like I feel old when I have these specific things that are just I cannot enjoy life like everybody else. Yes, with me, you have to be careful of the dogs not to lick my face. You know, if I had to explain that to a potential partner, I'm gonna feel bad for myself.
Never feel bad for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah,
Never feel bad for yourself. You are who you are.
you're right.
If somebody can't fuck with that, they're not supposed to be in your life, man.
I'm not fucking with no face licking.
Nah.
No, man.
Like if somebody can't accept for who you are, that person should not supposed to be in your life anyway, you know. So like it's like it's the fact like you tell them who you are and they decide if that so holding back, withholding that information.
No, I'm not gonna withhold it. I'm a sharer.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna come out the door with it. I'm gonna
But you're gonna feel bad about it.
Yeah. I'm gonna feel a bit self-conscious about me not being the functioning properly, something like that. I don't know.
Now you see, like if somebody says I want to have a cat, I'll be like, bye. I'm not taking away the fact that you want to have a cat. I'm not taking away that like you have your cat and enjoy your life. Toodaloos.
So you said before that you've been a soldier. You've been through.
I haven't been a soldier, but like you know.
I
just took the metaphor.
Yeah,
as, like,
I meant it metaphorically.
Okay.
But I have been a soldier.
Okay.
So in Sri Lanka, you don't have.
I was a cadet.
Huh?
I was a cadet. Like it's like not military, but you
Cadet, huh?
It's like a cadet, like you know.
What's a cadet?
So you don't have it because like you know like Cyprus used to be a British colony as well, right? So in many British colonies, like when you're like above, like when you're like 14 years old, you can go through like it's like let's call it like pre-military. I don't know, but it has nothing to do with the military.
Okay.
Because it's like you know you are under 18.
Yeah.
So you do a certain amount of training, like you know.
How long?
Like the longest would be 7 years. So you can become a cadet at 14, and then you leave. So it's during your school years.
So you swap school with this?
No.
So you do.
Every school has a platoon.
A platoon.
Yeah.
That sounds a bit weird, like to connect school with military that way.
No, man, it's I think it's an English thing. In England, I think they have cadets as well. So in Australia, I know they have it. Okay. In Canada, you know, I know have it.
And what do they do?
How do I put it, man? It's basically like you're getting like a military training. It's just that you don't go to war.
Like discipline and exercise. Yeah. Do you handle guns?
You get to shoot.
You get to shoot?
You do, not handle as in like you don't get like, probably not as weapon training as that you would. Like there is a section of weapon training. Yes, I can shoot a gun. But like, you know, there isn't like, you don't go into depths like fucking all the rifles and like.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's not military. Like it's
you don't go through war tactics and movements and
like
platoon. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
some basic stuff.
Yeah, it's basic. Yeah. It's, let's say it's like I would say it's a pre-military course.
Yeah, I'm just I'm a bit of a pacifist when it comes to these things, and when you put it.
I'm so surprised like Cyprus doesn't have it as a British colony because every British colony like most like South Asia, everywhere has it. It's called the National Cadet Corps.
Okay.
Right? I know Australia has it. I know Canada has it. I'm not sure if America has it.
I'm a bit dumbfounded now, you know? Like, I never knew about this. Yeah, and you're right. Why don't we have it as a former British colony? Yeah, I think the situation, like the way the British left here, it's not the same as, like, we're part of the Commonwealth. They kept the bases, but the connection they kept with the place wasn't that strong. It's like they wanted to just leave and keep the good stuff and have nothing. Yeah, they kept the good stuff, but they wanted to have nothing with the people and not a lot of things let's say, transferred or translated to the culture. From
Yeah,
the
but
British.
like you see, like most of these things were not for Sri Lankan people. It's for the British people who were living there.
But you're saying it stayed as a cultural element.
Yeah, like everything we used is from the British colonization, man. Like the education system we follow is still GCE, like O levels, and it's all like everything that they created stayed. The law that we are following is still coming through Portuguese, Dutch, and English. So it's like you can't erase the colonial history like that.
No.
Like, you know, everything that, like the railroads, we still use the railroads. It's not like they were not going to pack up the railroads and go. They left it, like, you know, they gave all that for their benefit. All that, like you see, that's the whole entire country. Like, you know, everything, the whole entire education system. Like, you know, like you must go to school, you learn this, and you must find a job. Like, you know, this is basically all the colonizers need: workers. They need clerks, they need this, they need that. The education system was to provide that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, hey, we give them. Why do you think Sri Lanka is like the number one South Asian country when it comes to literacy, and certain things, but when it comes to an election, you pick the dumbest fuck on earth to become your president, like, or prime minister, or whatever, because that system is that's how the system. Like, listen, we are smart people, but when it comes to letting someone govern us, we're gonna follow the ones who tells that gonna give us the most benefits and stuff like that.
How many years have you had like democracy, like your own democracy, your own president?
I mean, we got our independence in 48. 48. Yeah.
That's what I think about Cyprus. But we're still young. When it comes to deciding for ourselves, we're very young.
Yeah.
As nations, as societies, as consciousness, you know, as a collective, as a personal consciousness. And we weren't ready to do that for ourselves because of people weren't educated. They were just workers, like in the mountains, like small villages. This level of cooperation because as we were saying before we came here, we're both islanders. Mm-hmm. And island societies have some unique elements, peculiarities, inconsistencies. So like Cypriots, we have this village mentality of like,
it's the same with Sri Lanka, man.
We don't have meritocracy. Mm-hmm. It's the person you know. We call it kumbarokratia. Kumbaros is your best man that marries you. So we have the best man-ocracy. So not the best man for the job, the best man that marries
you know.
Yeah, like, the best man that I know.
That you think that you can benefit from.
Yeah, that I can go there and say
And now when you come from a third world country, like statistically poorer, although we have all the resources in Sri Lanka to become a rich place, like what happens is it's like we drive with hope for a better tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Like so, for example, like that's like when we were coming here, I asked, like, Cyprus is not a poor country. Yeah, it has all, like, you know, it's in a great shape. But when you come from Sri Lanka, like, you know, like we've been battered, like, you know, we've been given so many promises, like, you know, this is gonna be low, this is gonna be better, like, you know, you're gonna be getting this and that and this and that. So all the time we have just heard promises after promises after promises. So now it's a fact of, like, some people would say, like, let's go give it to this one and see if this is gonna happen. Like, it's just the hope that's there, that he, like, with facts, like with historical facts, there is stuff that 95% of the things that has been promised was never
delivered.
Never delivered.
Of course, yeah.
But let's hope this one does.
Yeah, people are emotional. You know? People are emotional voters everywhere.
Well, sometimes they go like, yeah, 5 years is not enough, so let's give him another
Yeah, again,
term.
this argument, I'm so tired of this argument. Well, we didn't have time. Yeah, so why were you promising all that shit? You knew that, but it takes time. It's the same dialectic fucking everywhere.
It's exactly, that's the thing.
The
Like,
same
you know,
bullshit everywhere.
that's
man.
why they say politics is the dirtiest game, but it's a fun game to play.
Shit.
So where were we?
So I wanted to ask you, like I talked about the military figuratively in the sense that you said that you were a soldier.
Yeah.
I wanted to take us back to your journey through comedy. Before we go there, let me just say that Malinda contacted me through Peja. Peja hosted the festival.
Shout out to Pedro.
Shout out to amazing Peja Pajovic. He was touring the States. Yeah. He
was with me in Vienna in April.
Nice.
He had a fantastic show.
Peja contacted stand-up comedy like last year, where he came to Cyprus. He did a show, and then I invited him to come and host the English night of the international comedy night of the festival last year. We hope we're going to have him again this year. We hope we're going to have this guy again this year. We're going to keep cuts away from him, and we're going to see what we're going to do. And
I will come to. I will be coming to Cyprus every time I get an invitation.
Yeah,
man, I loved it.
He loved it.
I loved it. Unfortunately, we didn't have that much time in Nicosia, but in Limassol, man.
Yeah.
The show was great. I mean, Nicosia's show was great too. But in the 2 days, like, you know, I get to hang out with your friends and like the city, like. Is it a city or a village?
You tell me. I don't know. What do you think?
Because here's the thing, it's hard for me to judge, because whenever I'm walking with you anywhere, it's like I'm walking with a fucking superstar. Like, you have to fucking stop every 5 minutes, right? Every 5 minutes, some guy comes and talk to you. It's like,
Hugging
yo,
people,
yeah,
kissing people. Yeah.
I was like, for fuck's sake, like. We have to plan like 45 minutes earlier to get to the place, like, you know, because every 5 minutes we...
That's why my friends don't hang out with me anymore. Like,
I can understand, like, you know, it becomes annoying after a while.
They're like, Yorkos, we're going to go there. You come on your own. Like, and then I'm going to be doing this.
Yeah, but it's, for me, it's very beautiful. Number one, because like you as a, like, you know, like I consider you as a friend now, although we've been talking over the phone and, you know, all that. And then we came, like, and we instantly clicked, you know, like, even from the moments, like, you were picking me up, like, I was like, okay, like, you know, come here. Like, okay, it's the place right next to the church, right? I'm like, yeah, it's the church. And then we hang up. I'm like, how many fucking churches does Limassol have, like, now? Like, it can be any church. Like, I just saw a church, like, you know. And then I said, like, is it a pink church?
Yeah.
And then while we were driving, we saw like 3 pink churches.
You get lost.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And then, like, the other thing is, like, you know, whenever we were hanging out in Limassol, like, you know, your friends would come and then talk to you and sit down and hang out with us. And I never felt alone. I never felt like out of place. I never felt like, you know, I was never given the feeling like you don't belong here.
So that's like a village kind of...
It's not
feel that you get.
I
like
think it's the island
community.
mentality.
Yeah, it is.
Because, you know, if you come to Sri Lanka, like, it's the same thing with Ireland. You know, when I was living in Ireland, there was no.
How many years you were in Ireland?
3 years.
3 years, okay.
Right. It was never given the feeling that, like, you don't belong here. Like, I mean, of course, like there are people who are, you know, racists and all that. Like, they will always try to make sure that you don't feel like you belong.
Yeah.
But like. For an example, like if you like you know, if you go out in Austria, like, you know, like, it's cold, like, people are cold,
yeah,
like, you know, but here it's like, like, if you're George's friend, you're my friend too now, like, that kind of thing, like the hospitality. And it made me so welcomed, and like, I love it here, man. Like shout out to people of Cyprus, man. Like, thank you so much.
Bravo, guys. We did a good job. We won him over.
Yeah.
It does become taxing at a certain... Like, there are times that I get extremely lonely, that I choose to not see and not talk for like a day, because I need that to balance it out. And it's a choice for me to go out. here, because like what I did, like when I was in New York a week ago, where I was like walking in the streets, nobody talking. You can get lost, you know. You can get lost in your thoughts. You can get lost in all those buildings and just keep walking and walking and walking. I mean, you cannot walk it all. It's massive.
Yeah.
And you get disoriented. Like this kind of feeling, you cannot have it in Cyprus. So whenever I go out, of course this is going to happen. So when I don't want to have that,
just stay in.
You stay home. You can. It's either you go hiking, where nature is really good, but it gives you a different feel. Like if you want to be, what I experienced in New York was like, I was connected with my productive self, my professional-oriented self in the city, no distractions, working towards something, just being there and imagining stuff. And
you're focused.
Focused. All the buildings allow you to focus on the craft or whatever profession you have, and that the sheer numbers of it, that you get lost in it, it allows you to clear your mind and know what you want to do. If I go work in Limassol, I cannot get that. Yeah, because it's going to be impolite.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like, who the hell does he think he is? Like,
so, or I just don't. I'm like this. I don't look at anybody. Because if I turn, they're gonna. I have to say. So I have to be like this. So
so anyway, man, I loved it. The shows were great. Like we had good crowds. We had like very diverse crowds as well.
Yeah.
So it was good.
So how long have you been touring the world? How many countries have you performed in?
So Cyprus is my 32nd country.
32nd country?
Yeah. So like, you know, I started to like, so in like the whole touring thing came to me with like my best friend Tamas, like best friend in comedy. Like, you know, I worked with him a lot. Tamas Vamos, if you want to check him out. So what happened was he called me, like, you know, we were friends, like, so he had a different opening act when he goes on the road. So he called me one day, like, man, like it's not very far, the city in Linz, right? So I have this sold out show. I don't have an opener. I was like, what happened to your opening act, right? Sia was his name, so I can say he's a comic as well. What happened to Sia? And he's like, man, like he got bad stomach, like he can't make it the show, like he is sick, so he can't make it. I was like, so I was relatively new. I was like 2 years into comedy, like, you know, like I admire I admire the courage that a lot of young comics have, like, you know, after doing 4 open mics, they want to go on tour and do a solo show for 1 hour. I admire that courage. But like, you know, when we were coming up, we didn't have that sort of like, oh my God.
I
like,
don't admire it, but we can...
No, I admire the courage. It's not like I advise it, like, but like, you know... But
I respect the choice of words. I'm going to be more strict about it, but continue.
But you see now, so I was like, I don't know, man. You've seen my stuff. You've seen my jokes. I can maybe come and do like, you know, 15 minutes and try to warm them up, like do a little bit of hosting and put you on stage if that works. That's the only thing as a friend I can offer, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, can you do that for me? And so I was still in university, of course. I was in university.
That's like 9 years ago.
Oh, yeah, this is like 7 years.
7 years ago, yeah, you're right. Mathematically, yeah.
So it's like early 2018. Late 2017, early 2018, something like that. And can you do that for me? I was like, sure, man. Like, you know, like before you take me for anything, I am game. But you know my material, if that works for you, because like, you know, I'm still conscious, like, because I'm not doing this professionally at that time. Like, I was just simply like, I thought I had like a 15 minutes of jokes. That means probably I had 6. Like, you know, we know how comedy works now, right? But like, I was being honest, like, you know, I was like, hey man, like, I'm not going to be like, let me do that. Like, if you are happy with the stuff that you have seen me doing on stage, and
I'll come.
And of course, if you can afford to buy my train ticket, because I couldn't afford a train ticket at that time, I'll come. Like, you know, we go, we do the show, and we come back. Like, because it's not far. It's 1.5 hours train journey from Vienna. It's like, yeah, man, be at the train station at 3. He bought the ticket. I was like, all right, cool. So we went, and then I went on stage, started, and so he was recording he was supposed to record at set, but I said, like, can you record mine as well? Like I don't have any recording. I still don't. And he recorded, like, it's like, man, the show is going so great. Like, you know, I'm having so much fun. We're having banter. We were having, like, chat. It's like, you know, I'm doing my stuff. I was doing my jokes and all that. And then I brought him up. And then I went and checked the time of the camera. I have been on stage for 40 minutes. I was like, yo, man, why the hell did you not give me a light at least, like, you know? Because it's my first time being on stage for a long time. I'm so used to doing 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. So it never felt like I was on stage for so long. And he said, man, you were having fun. The crowd was having fun. You just made my life so easy. Why would I take you off the stage? Because now you just made, like, now I just have to go and do my jokes and they're going to fucking love it. So I'm like, well, if it's your show, if that's the case, that's grand. And then it's like, you know
that's
what, man?
courage.
You are my new opening act. So he took me from place to place and show how it's done.
And you did like 3 hours worth of opening.
Well, in total, maybe, yes. But I like, you see, like that's also, like, you know, like, just because it happened one time, you're not gonna do that all the time.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was young.
It was the magic, like, man. The magic. That's what I would say. That's courage.
Yeah.
The guy, the professionalism, the experience, the calmness within him.
Yeah.
To experience, to give you and be like, now I'm witnessing a comedian, like, unfolding in front of me. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to stop that. That's a gift. That's something that,
man, 100%.
If he would have been sour about it and shit, like, dude, you forgot what it's about.
So, and
kudos
like,
to him.
And long story short, now I have toured way more countries than he has.
Did he open for you? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Yeah, no, kidding, just kidding.
So that's also what happens. That this is what I do as well, and I see some comedians don't do that. They would rather take a friend instead of a new coming comic, you know.
Yeah.
New up and coming, like. So what he does is, like, he showed me and stuff, and then once I started working on my solo, it's like, man, I've shown you the ropes, and he's younger than me. Like, you know, he's I think he's like 30. He's like 32 years. Like, I'm 38. But in comedy, he started comedy before me. So it's like, yeah, man. Like, I still work with him. I still open for him when I'm in Vienna. You know, like, hey, man, like, I need to work. Like, you know, I need to work on some stuff. Like, let me hop on the show. Like, you know, and we have a tour together in September in Austria. So we still work, like, you know, I still do the Make Austria Laugh tour and so forth, but, like, you know, it's like, now you do your thing.
Yeah, of course.
So, and then I started doing my thing. I had
that's what I got from Victor. Do you know Victor Patrasca?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He came twice. Like, we met in Berlin. I just walked up to him. I had seen him on TikTok. I loved his content. I said, dude, I just admire your work.
Yeah.
He saw me do like 5 minutes. He was like, good stuff. We kept some contacts, and then he came to Cyprus once. He came this year as well. We toured Cyprus. He gave him like 20 minutes. He started the show with crowd work. Then I went 20 minutes, and he just shared. He shared his experience, his methods. Like, he told me whatever you want. Like, but that's the thing. Like, that's how comedians find their way through professional relationships, in which you respect the other individual, you work together for some time, and you create bonds.
Yeah, but you also have to understand, with that comes with like, you have to be able to deliver
You mean on the stage?
Yes.
Yes.
Like so for example,
Yeah, it's between-
if I was not doing well, do you think Tamas would have let me go for 40 minutes?
No, of course. Of course.
like, you know.
You have to bring the goods. You have to
Like-
deliver. If you don't deliver, then we
Yeah,
cannot.
exactly.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, so like what I was trying to say is, even if this doesn't happen that way that you expect it to happen, like, you know, maybe some young, new up and coming comic, like I still consider myself up and coming. It's only been 9 years, man.
Yeah, me
like
too.
you know how we do. Like you have to be like you have to be called a comedian. You have to be doing comedy for like 10 years and stuff like that. Like those are unwritten rules. But like, you know, like it's not like we are selling out stadiums and shit. Like, you know, we are doing.
Dude, we
like,
have so much more room,
yeah.
so much more stuff to experience. What are you on about?
It's never ending. So I don't want, like, you know, some maybe a young new up and coming comic watches this and think like, so this comedian never gave me a chance. It's nothing personal. Like, you know, maybe the comedian saw you on a bad night.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like you need to understand a comedian doesn't not give you a spot because it's pure like, nah, I don't want you on my show. It's basically, when you're my opening act, if you do a bad job, you're making my job harder. Because now I don't know who did a survey. Somebody did a survey to check like what's the worst thing about a comedy show that you went to see, and around 70% of the people said the opening act. It's a fucking dickhead move. Like do you even have any idea the strength of an opening act?
Yeah, you're right. Of course.
The opening act is there for a reason. So you are warmed up. Like you're not cold when the guy or when the comedian you came to see, you're already prepared. You are in a good mood. So how much of a dickhead you have to be? Like we don't need the opening act. No, you do.
Of course you do.
You do need an opening act. You just don't appreciate the act. That's the reason. So
it's a numbers thing as well. Like I don't know how the scene is in Vienna.
Yeah.
How many comics there are.
Okay.
But like in Cyprus, we can count them. Like and it's been like that. Like I started doing stand-up in 2017. The culture bloomed in 2021. Let's say after COVID.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing my solo shows, I was just by myself doing like 2 hours. I was insane at the beginning. I am one of the crazy people that started with a solo show.
Yeah.
There wasn't no culture
because there was nothing else to go.
So, yeah.
Like, yeah, you have to. You are the builder of it.
Yeah, well, me and others. It was like I started my first show, my first stand-up comedy experience was a solo show in which I did like 2 hours.
Okay.
That was, what do you mean? Of course, a lot of it was shit. Of course, I mean, it cannot not be.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but because I'm an actor, I had the experience of the stage. I didn't have stage fright. I knew how to. I have done comedy. I knew how to play with this, play with the audience. I had this instinct and this talent, let's say. And luckily, I had the instinct to place the beats like it was hit, miss, hit, miss.
Yeah.
It wasn't miss.
Yeah.
So I watched the video like 2 years after the fact, and I got like this deep visceral fear and guilt, like you were shit. Like what are you saying right now? But then I was like, okay, you saved it. What are you? Okay, you saved it.
Bro, whenever I want to feel humbled, I just watch my first ever time I did. I have a recording of me doing comedy for the very first time.
Oh my god.
And you see, like when I started doing when I first went on that stage, I made a promise to myself: if this goes well, I'm gonna keep doing this as a hobby.
Yeah.
Right. Doing this professionally was never even in the horizon of doing comedy. Like I wanted to, because it's in English. It's in Vienna, like, you know, like I'm like, I'm doing something. I'm doing something outside just going to university and drinking and partying. So I wanted to do something, and that's why I did it. But then I was like, because I was a musician back, like before I left Sri Lanka, I was a musician.
So it was like a hobby, like an activity you did as well, like stand-up. You started it as a
stand-up.
As an extra
music
activity.
I started when I was in school.
No,
so,
I'm talking about stand-up. Like you
it's like an extra activity, like extracurricular activity.
Yeah.
Just for
fun.
me. Yeah. And also there was only like two open mics when I started.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's like once a month as well. So my thing was like, if it goes well, I'll keep it as a hobby.
Yeah.
That means I can, you know, try and do and whatever. If it goes bad, like if nobody laughs, I will not try this again. I'll be like, I tried, it's not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can imagine it went well.
Yeah,
One of
yeah.
those jokes from the first show that I did made it to my special as well.
Yeah.
Right?
I still say jokes
And still,
to this day, like.
when I go, like whenever I feel like I want to be humbled, I watch that video and I'm like, why the fuck were these people laughing? I probably wouldn't laugh at these jokes. Of course, the joke that made it to my special, yes, that's a good joke. It's a great joke.
Oh,
But the rest, I'm like, man, like, yes, the people were laughing, but what the fuck was I thinking?
yeah, the people will laugh about anything sometimes. Yeah.
And then, like, you know, and that's the beauty of comedy, man. Like it never lets you stay like there. It will humble you.
Oh yeah,
Really.
oh yeah. You go like this. Yeah.
You can have like 7 days of 7 shows of like entire, like, you know, bring
You gotta
the
love
house
everything though.
down.
You gotta accept everything.
And then the 8th show you bomb like why do I exist? That's the beauty of comedy,
Yeah,
man. I
yeah.
love it. Like and you need that like you need that humility.
You need it.
Like if like, because otherwise, like, comedians are the cokiest motherfuckers
Yeah.
on earth, man. Like we are, because
Yeah.
no, here's the thing, man. Like, I mean, it's natural because you are doing something. Like, you need to look at it in this perspective. Like, it's first of all, we are delusional, right? Every single comedian who has touched their mic to fucking tell a joke is delusional, right? And there is no like how like I quit.
We are
my
dreamers.
job.
We are dreamers, not delusional.
Well, like
We have a vision.
Like, imagine like me quitting a job as a researcher at the university and thinking like, you know what, man, I'm making people laugh and I'm gonna make it my career. like it's a joke. It's not anywhere, not in New York or like in LA or in Australia or in the UK or in fucking Vienna, Austria, man. English is not even a language that they like.
You're a pioneer, my friend. That's
So
what's about.
the level of delusion that I had, like, it's mental. But somehow we fucking made it work, right?
I
We
think
made it work.
it's a risk. It's danger. We have ignorance. We're in a blissful situation where we don't realize the risks and the dangers.
No, we do realize the job.
I didn't.
Being homeless is the risk. But that's only one
on,
step
man. You have to
below
be
from a
terrible to feel.
comedian. It's just one step below. Like, you know, like I have this joke. I know this joke. This is not my joke. It's a friend of mine. Shane Clifford is an Irish brilliant comic. He has this joke about, like, you know, somebody's rock bottom is somebody's absolute high.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he was talking about like a movie where like he's a boxer.
Yeah.
He's a boxing champion and he got injured and he can't fucking box anymore. And then he starts stand-up comedy. And he says that's his rock bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me headlining a comedy club is your rock bottom? That's my absolute high at the moment.
I never thought about
it's
that.
Such a great joke, like, you know,
somebody,
and you see, that's the thing, like, you know, like when you're a comedian, man, like people always like, you like, and they all like, you know, how many times do you have people come and tell you like, man, you're so courageous. You have so much courage to go on stage and tell
Say
jokes.
those things.
Meanwhile, this motherfucker is a pilot. He flies 30,000, like, he's telling you that you are courageous. I'm like, dude, and sometimes these are doctors, lawyers. Like, the things that you do are things that I can't even imagine of doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so courage is also relative.
Dude, we have our social nature
Yeah.
is that's where we feel fear.
Yeah.
We feel fear of rejection. I mean, that's when you're in a cockpit, you're in a room, you're by yourself, you know your buttons, you know the moves.
Yeah.
You're in the zone, you know
Yeah.
what to do.
It's like we are on stage.
Yeah.
When you're on stage, you're like, fuck it. Like, you know.
Put the pilot, a guy there to judge him and say whatever questions to him. He's gonna. I mean, we're social creatures, and that's what we fear most: social breakdown. Like when that doesn't work, it's way more scary.
When what doesn't work?
The social thing.
Yeah.
When human interaction doesn't work, we get like we experience it in our guts. That's scary. I wanted to say before. I asked about Vienna. I told you about how I started. We didn't have opening acts.
Yeah.
Now slowly the Cypriot comedy scene. I mean, we have more comedians now. The English, it's still in if the Cypriot comedy it's in a teenage years. The English comedy in Cyprus is infancy. Yeah. But at least it's taking the momentum of the bloom of the Cypriot stand-up comedy scene. But something that I have observed and I wanted to talk about is the way young. Okay, you said before you are not a comic. You cannot be considered a comedian.
I am a comic. I am a comedian. Please come to my shows. Buy tickets. I never said that I'm not a comedian.
He did. We're going to play it back. That and the moment he did. So you said that you cannot be considered. There is that unwritten rule that you cannot be considered a comedian.
Yeah. It's an unwritten rule in the.
Who told you that rule?
Over the years that you hear from comedians.
You hear it from here and there.
Yeah,
okay.
it's that's why it says it's an unwritten rule.
Yeah, of course.
You know, set up punch, like having 3 laughs within a minute. It's an unwritten rule. That like how, like why?
Yeah.
Right? But everybody says like, what's your having a laugh at every 20 seconds? Like, you know, yes.
No, I don't really care about that.
So those are unwritten rules that you try to follow in a way. Like, you know,
guidelines.
Because I mean, obviously, if you can get 20 seconds, like every 20 seconds a laugh out, that's brilliant. That means it's a great fucking setup.
Yeah.
Because then the punchline is going to be like boom. So like just because there's a set
but that depends on what you want to say though. That depends on what gets you up the stage. Like as you said before, it's somebody's rock bottom, but it's somebody else's. What's the word I'm looking for? Like a moment of release, a moment of you're exalted that moment.
But you see, I see it this way. The reason why this kind of things happens is to like also keep people humble, right? Like with the new generation, what we are doing is we are slowly removing this stuff, right? So these might be things that when everybody's trying to do stand-up comedy, these are probably like gatekeeping techniques, like, you know, so for you to feel humble, like if you, because you're getting, like in New York, stand-up is a very American genre. This is me thinking, right? This is not written anywhere.
No, historically it's American.
No, but like I'm talking about like, so having a laugh like every 20 seconds, right? Because when you first go to an open mic, you're only given like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do in 3 minutes. So you have to be sharp. And you have to prove to get another spot like in the future.
Yeah.
So all the fat will be removed.
To be allowed and like to earn the time on stage to let your philosophy or your presence be part of the show, because when you go to
if you can't make people laugh in 3 minutes, so 3 minutes, so if you take that, like that means 9 laughs in 3 minutes mathematically. If you're getting a laugh, so you need to get 9 laughs in 3 minutes, otherwise you're not a good comedian basically. So you do that and you put, and then like, you know, like and the 10 years, like you're not really a comedian if you haven't done it for at least 10 years. Like, maybe it's because they don't also, back in the day, maybe they didn't want, like, you know, somebody to do 3 open mics and go on tour, doing a solo. But like,
Yeah,
like,
perhaps they were gatekeeping actually. Yeah.
like so.
But
so
on the other,
you
on
know,
the
you
other
never
hand,
know
that's,
where
that's
these
what I want to
things
say.
comes
What I want to say
through.
is that I mean, I've seen people, they do an open mic and then they immediately make an Instagram account saying Joanna comedian, Andrew the comic. Dude, you did an open mic. You just did 5 minutes and suddenly you have an Instagram account calling yourself a comic like this.
Not even turning their own, like they make a new Instagram account.
Yeah. And then
Just for comedy.
they have their personal and they immediately like, re. Σιγά σιγά. Cypriot, lau. Like, wait a second. Wait, like, do more. Like, get some more. Decide if you want to keep doing this. Like, it's a process. It's an emotional process. It's
maybe try getting better first.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
just keep it there.
That's the straight way of saying it. Like, you know, like.
But you know what? Perhaps when we talk about getting better, there is judgment there. I will be more practical. Get more stage time.
Well, getting more stage time is getting better, isn't it?
Not necessarily. If you just go to all the open mics and they just, I'm telling you, because here in Cyprus we are like 5-10 people in the open mics. They're all most of the times they're the same people.
Yeah.
That was one of the problems the past 2 years. The audience that wanted to support the growing stand-up scene, they kept seeing the same people. Us as we are like successful solo acts, but we had to host, and hosting is different than your solo act.
Very different,
so we had to, like, it took us a year and a half to learn how we have to change our way of thinking from my act to hosting for the new generation to start. And all this work we've put, like, what's the word when you have like a piece of land and you take it to the bank? Mortgage,
yeah.
Like, we mortgaged. Like, I personally feel that I mortgaged my own personal momentum to give stuff to the community. I learned from that, of course. But then you're left dry. Yeah. Like,
I know the feeling very well.
And I think a lot of people know that feeling. And the new generation of comics, I am in the new generation of comics, of course, you as well. I agree with what you said before. We have so many more to experience, but it's like, all these rituals that we talk about, all these unwritten rules, you were talking yesterday about when you leave the stage, put the mic on the stand. I forgot to do it. But it's a nice thing to have in mind. And in New York, they were doing it. Everybody, the host, I enter my set. That means I take the stand, I put it here. And it's also, you teach the audience, because our words say one story, our bodies say another story. So
and that's why I brought up the eye, because I saw people were like a little concerned looking at me, like, you know, and then it turned out to like a nice story and people were appreciating it.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, continue. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, when you take the stand, you put it in the middle, whatever you were saying, the audience says, he's done.
Yeah.
It's a reset. Mm-hmm. We clear our minds, then the host comes up, says a couple of things, quick, we go to the next one. That kind of teleturgy, of ritualistic behavior, it's good to keep it. And this hierarchy, I like it, and it kind of evaporates as time goes by.
Yeah, but
but like the kind of connection that I have been having the past 2 years with professional comedians, be it you, Peja, Victor, and other people, like now that I went to New York with Christos, shout out to Christos, thank you, man, he really helped me, and a lot of other people that I met in New York. It's like, I realized that we are a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's a huge industry of people that they have jokes, like, and it's not a finite resource. Like, as many people as they are, that's how many jokes that exist. Yeah. And I didn't realize that the industry, the show industry of comics is so vast. And then I didn't know that. I went to New York to actually see the numbers.
It's huge. It's like, when you think about it, like, the problem, like, because like you see in the continent, in Europe or many other places, that comedy is relatively new. When I say relatively new, I'm talking about the last maybe 15 years.
Yeah.
15 to 20 years, right? So, like, like when you become a comedian, you're not just a comedian. You are taking like 8 other jobs when you're a comedian. You're a host, you're a promoter, you're a booker, you're a club runner, you're a show runner, you're an usher sometimes. You have to fucking take the people to
You're
the
a worker. You work
like
for comedy.
and that's not technically how it's supposed to be. These are all separate jobs. Right? That's how the industry because the thing is that's how the industry gets sustainable. So basically what's happening is like I told jokes, I want to get stage time. So how can I get stage time? If I host a show, I will get more stage time.
That's what they do in New York. I produce my own show.
So produce my own show. You go there, but then you do another job, like you do a day job. You take that money and invest on running that show, and then you have enough money to produce the little show, and then, but you don't have money to hire people, right? So you do the doors, like you book the acts, and then you do the hosting. So I mean, we are all guilty of doing it, but that's technically not like if you go to New York or if you go to England, bookers, promoters, they're not even comedians. They're not involved in actual stand-up comedy. They are business people. You don't like to run a comedy show because that's the sustainable way. Like if you're a show producer, like you can be like, hey, I'm the money man. I have enough money to produce a show. I agree with what you're saying,
but okay,
right?
Continue.
So that creates opportunities for more comics. Like that happened to me when I came back to Vienna. Like, we had, before I left Vienna, we had at least 3-4 showcases where you can make a little bit of money. I came from Ireland back to Vienna. We don't have showcases to make money.
Because it's all comedians who do the production.
No, every comedian is running an open mic and you don't get paid at an open mic. So when I saw that, I'm like, wow. Like, how is this? Of course, I get it. How is this sustainable?
That's what I was saying, like, for years in Cyprus. Like, why isn't there? I was doing comedy for 3 years, doing solo shows in all Cyprus. I was telling my then girlfriend, where are the producers? Why aren't they coming to say, I'm going to make money out of this asshole? He talks, people laugh, people come, let's make money. I was like, come, take advantage of me.
Yeah.
The know-how doesn't exist in small places where stand-up just starting up. The business owners or the businessmen, they don't know how to capitalize. They don't know the art. They feel that it's out of their waters. So, unfortunately, comedians, when it's a place where stand-up comedy didn't exist, comedians have to carry that burden.
Yeah, I do understand why it happens.
Yeah, at the same time, in place where it's fucking saturated, like New York, it's like it goes like 180 degrees and it turns again, it comes back to the promoters go where the money is.
Yeah.
And the comedians who host the shows, it's not for money, it's for stage time.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't get stage time
otherwise.
You wouldn't get it.
But like you see, like when I'm hosting, man, I told you, right? I don't even Jew jokes when I'm did I say Jew jokes?
Jew jokes is when people pay money because Jews.
I don't do joke. I mean, I do jokes like it's crowd work, mostly crowd work. Like I'm not doing my material. On stage when I'm hosting, and bro, like there is nothing worse. Like imagine, like unless you are the opening act, and in either of the halves. It's so annoying, like if you're like an in-between act, especially at an open mic, when the host does time in between.
I hate that.
Like
that's what we used to do in Cyprus, but we didn't know.
Like you learn and you go for.
You're the host. Do 5-10 minutes at the beginning, and then just
get it going, like and the worst thing is like some host doesn't understand. Is like we all are guilty. Like the reason I think we are talking about these things is like so like whoever listens to it like learn from our mistakes, because we are all guilty of doing all these things, right? Because when you do material in between a comic, like when you do a joke and if it doesn't land, you can't bring up the next comic because now you bombed and the crowd is like back to being cold. It's like I fucked up that joke. But on that note, here comes Malinda Perera.
I've done that. I've done that. I have done that.
Like, when that happens to me, I'm like, I hate you.
My man, you know, it's different being a stand-up. Like, you start doing comedy and you think that you're going to be a comedian, and then suddenly you are faced with an industry culture that happened, and you're like, I gotta respond to that. I am the first responder. Who's gonna respond to that? Nobody's gonna respond to that. So you either teach people learn next to you. You're like, okay.
Oh, I don't teach people, man. I stopped telling people what to do long time ago.
I was doing workshops. I don't mean like this. I was doing workshops where I just teach the basics in the sense of set a punchline.
Yeah.
For you to, like, you know, if you don't have a setup in the punchline, like some work with their bodies because of the acting. Like I did. Yeah. I also did a master's on how to teach acting coach.
Okay.
So that's why I felt that there is room for that. And anyway, I stopped doing it now. I might do it again later on. But yeah, I mean, anyway. Yeah, you never expect that you'll be forced to do these things. When you start doing comedy, if the scene doesn't exist, you don't know what it entails.
Like, I didn't know what comedy is until I start. So the problem is, like, I see is like a lot of, like, we can only just put it out there. This is how it was. If anybody wants to listen to it and change the way, like, you know, change it.
Yeah.
Like because the thing is, like, you see, I'm not going to name names because, like, if there is something that I know for a fact, if you don't like something, don't name the names. Right? Like, don't give any sort of promotion for this. Because there's a group that comes that has recognized the uncharted waters of European comedy. And they're already putting shows now, paying shit little money for the comics and charging the audiences like the real amount of money that you would charge. Like, when I say real money, like in Vienna they would charge like 35, 40, 45 euros. I'm not saying they're bad comics. They're good comics, but they're not getting the best deal out of it. So even if you buy a ticket and you go to this show, the comedian is not getting a lot, right? So because, like, you see, they are big names. Like, these production companies, they're big names. So when we are comedians, what do we like the most? Laughter. A house full of people, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I can do my jokes.
This is happening in Cyprus as well. Like, and that's when when businessmen come and they just define the game. I don't like that.
None of us do. But the problem is, if the locals don't, like, if people from there doesn't, because if you don't support your artists, somebody's going to exploit them.
Yeah, of course.
So this goes out to the people as well. Like, you know, just support your local comedy clubs, local comedy shows.
We don't have like a work union. We don't have unions.
No, we can't have unions.
We can't. Why?
We are just people with opinions, man.
You said
we are just people with opinions.
You're right. How do you define
deliver
that?
our opinions and people find it funny. I mean, we write it funny as well. And you see, that's why I say, like, we also make this job look very easy. Like, you know, like we are just people with opinions, man. How the fuck can we have a union? Like, how many opinions are gonna be in that fucking table? Like, you know,
it's impossible. It's impossible. My God, but such an amazing journey, man. What a jungle. What a chaotic.
It is the jungle. It's the most toxic art. It's the most competitive, competitive art, like, you know, and the pain and trauma you have to go through when a show doesn't sell well or go well. Like, man, like, we are delusional. I think that's the headline of the podcast. That's the title of the podcast. We are delusional. We are delulu. In the beginning.
Why are you gay? Why are you delusional?
You see, like, even that one, he wasn't planning on, like, doing it that way. Like, he gave it.
The dude is just riding that wave for like 2 decades now. He's
still.
Yeah, he's doing
now
TikTok.
He's rich.
Yeah. He's doing TikTok interviews and stuff, talking about the interview. But it was an amazing moment.
You can't recreate that kind of shit.
No. I saw an interview of him lately. He said, I invited beautiful, like a nice lady to come and talk, and then a guy showed up, and I don't know what to say. So I said, why are you gay?
And he's who's gay?
You are gay.
Nah, man.
Pepe Giuliano Zima. So, Cyprus, how was it?
Man. It was great, as I mentioned earlier. Like, I saw things that's the beauty of like being able to observe things. Like, you didn't notice that tree thing.
That?
The art in the
Yes,
tree.
let's talk about
this. And you
this.
go there to swim every day.
I want us to talk about this moment. Like, I went to the Asui where I play beach volleyball every summer. I was in New York for like 13 days. I was in Athens for 20 days. I had missed the sea, the beach, my people there. I went, I was playing. And Malinda just came. A friend gave him a chair.
Yeah. Like,
He was leaving and he said, do you want chairs? Of course, man, give us a chair. He sat there chilling. How many hours were you there sitting?
We were there for like at least 3 hours.
At least 3 hours.
3 to 4 hours.
4
man.
hours, definitely.
Yeah, because I think we met around 3. And we left the beach. Yeah, we left the beach around 7:30. Yeah, so nearly 4.5 hours.
Nearly
man.
4. Yeah, you were there chilling. I was playing beach volleyball. I was totally active. He was totally chilling. It was the closest I've come to like feeling that I have a girlfriend watching me.
Speaking of girlfriends, shout out to the Cyprus, like women in Cyprus, man. Like you guys are gorgeous. Like I hope that doesn't come out as a creepy way, but like I have to mention, like you guys are just gorgeous, man. Like
I'm
Cypriot
proud of my
women.
Yeah,
very good. Very
Cypriot
nice.
women are. I have to say, I say that all the time. They're the Latinas of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, well, that would be a very accurate.
They have the temper. They have the curves.
Luckily, I didn't get to experience none of that. I was enjoying it from a for distance, like keeping.
He's a shisha lover, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
That's
like
such a huge thing about you, man. The shisha.
Well, here's the thing. I love shisha. Period. Right.
I love shisha.
but now the thing is, I don't do it often. Right. It's not like in Vienna. I will leave my house to go smoke shisha.
Yeah.
Right. I will not go out of my way to smoke shisha. But if it is readily available, like here, every second stop is a shisha place kind of thing, why not?
Yeah.
Right? Like if you would have said, man, there's only 2 shisha places in Limassol, I would be like, I would not even so what, you see, we only went to one shisha place, which is right next to Stodromo.
Yeah.
Because they agreed to give the shisha.
Yeah, to Stodromo.
You see, if they didn't agree to bring the shisha and let us have the shisha, I wouldn't go and sit there and I will just look it from afar. Motherfuckers, you could have just brought the shisha here, man. So I would be cursing them for not allowing me to do it, but I wouldn't go and stop doing what we are doing now and go do that. But so that's what I wanted to say. But I love shisha. If we have time after this podcast before I catch my flight, right? I would love to have some lunch.
Meet lunch in shisha and then you leave.
Yeah, and then I leave.
Okay, we might do that. So let's go back to the moment where we were at the beach. You're sitting there, you're chilling, and we got up to leave, and Malinda goes, man, I was watching you there play,
Oh yeah, it reminded me home, man. Well, I don't know how to explain that. That's why I was so I was in my element when you come from Colombo. Maybe my friends and we all move on, everybody has families and they have to go to work in the morning. It's not I don't know how the traffic here, man. In Colombo, man, you have to fucking leave home at 6:37 in the morning to show up at work at 8:39.
Yeah, it's like that. Even worse sometimes.
So you see, and then they leave work at 5:30. They reach home at 7:30. So life probably have changed, but the life that I remember before I left the country is this, right? Every day in the evening, you would go to the beach, you chill. Some people it's funny. I even have a joke about this. We don't really play volleyball because even though it's our national sport. Volleyball is our national sport. Have you heard Sri Lanka playing national volleyball in any fucking international?
No.
Exactly. So, but we do play rugby, football, cricket, like whatever. Like we sing, we drink, like we like put up like maybe a bonfire or something like that. So, like the entire time you were playing volleyball, I was just reminiscing my childhood, my adulthood, like well, not my adulthood, like my time being in Sri Lanka, and we were so connected to the beach. Like everything we did, most of the stuff, for the first time we did it at the beach. The first drink we had, the first spliff we smoked, well, the whatever we did, it's mostly the beach, right? So probably the first blow.
Well, it's if you see
like
the full moon,
a lot of firsts happen at the beach.
Yeah, man.
When you go to a, like when you're a kid, you don't have money to do fancy stuff.
Yeah.
Your first date is at the beach.
like the amazing experience when there is a club at the beach and you take your beers with the ice cooler and you sit next to the club and you dance in the sand and have your drinks. You feel like you've cheated life. You feel like you cheated capitalism.
Bro.
Take that, capitalism.
Yeah, man. Like it's so the entire time I was like, man, like it's something like lately I've been thinking like, what if I go back?
Yeah, I get it.
Because I'm like, because in Ireland, like it every time it reminds me, like in Ireland, that's another thing I liked about, like like I wasn't like always at the beach in Ireland because it's the fucking cold Irish Sea, like it's the Atlantic, like you're not gonna just jump on. They do, I don't get it.
yeah.
Like, man, it's like fucking freezing.
It's their relationship with their sea.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, you can't really like say like it's not something. It's their. Yeah. That's the sea they have. Like what are they? What are you gonna do? But like when you're in an island, like like your island roots suddenly like comes out like. Yeah, I know this. Like this,
like
is,
eucalyptus trees, like the roots they
like
go.
It's like
they suck
like,
the water.
It doesn't matter which island you are. You feel that sea breeze in you, and you're like, yeah,
that's where. Yeah,
it's only an islander knows.
Yeah,
like nobody else knows that feeling.
I totally get that.
Nobody else knows that feeling.
So we're leaving, and Malinda says, "My God, man, look at that tree." I was like, "What? Which tree?" I was like, what a romantic person. He just sees trees. He's gonna. By the way, he was talking about olive trees all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I like.
What about that olive tree? What about that?
You see, like I am more of a person who likes to discuss things and know things.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the more than half of the shit that I know are bullshit, because I always listen to what people say when I'm chat. So if people have taught me wrong things, that's the reference I have. Like, because
we are your ChatGPT,
yeah,
but we're not that reliable.
When I know a Cypriot who knows its history and who knows its culture, why the fuck would I Google shit?
Yeah, appreciate. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
I will ask and then I will go Google it.
Did he fuck with me? Like,
yeah. I am a Google.
And I was asking very specific questions. I was like, so is this olive tree belongs to someone?
It was like a Horafa guy, like a piece of land with 3 olive trees. Like, now, is this a public olive tree or is it a personal? Like,
I can't ask that. I can't ask that in Google.
That's some acute questioning. That's some observations there.
Like can anybody in the neighborhood
take olive trees? I was like, that's a very that's a social incision.
I've never thought about that. Maybe.
And then on the other side of the street there was like a big piece of land with a lot of olive trees. You were like, oh yeah, there must be connected. Like you were drawing conclusions, connecting stuff. Anyway, so we as we are in the Rasui, where the eucalyptus trees are, where the British put them, and it's one of the things that I say, okay, they did something good for this country. We wouldn't have the Rasui beach if it weren't for the British to just put all those trees there. It was swamps and stuff. Anyway, so as he goes, look at the tree, and I thought he's just looking at the shape or the uniqueness of a tree. I said, okay, let him. He's an islander. He's from Sri Lanka. He's missing home. I don't know. But then he tells me to look at it, and it was a tree that somebody painted on.
Yeah, like it's like it had a, what do you call that? Like a, so it didn't.
It's like a mural.
No, they didn't paint it just on the tree. It's a part, like, you know, when
So the
trees
trunk,
grow in the trunk, they have holes and the hole grows.
It looks like a big pussy.
Yeah. So it, like, when there's a small crack or something as the tree grows, it creates like an area, like I don't know what's the biological tree term, like, you know, if we have tree people.
We are three people.
I was referring to that joke. Explain what it is. So it's like a hole. It's like a hollow hole. It's just like a crack.
Shall I ask ChatGPT what that?
If you know what to ask, because I don't even know what to ask. Are you gonna write like what's the pussy of a tree called? Like,
What's the pussy of a tree?
ChatGPT be like, do you kiss your mom with that mouth?
Let's see what was. Like, can you imagine being ChatGPT and being thrown these questions at you?
Remember, there was a sketch that came, like, if Google was a person.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Like a sketch,
so
like, so ChatGPT.
It's still thinking. It's still. I didn't have internet, so
okay. Like it might be like, what the fuck did he answer? Like, pussy.
There is Pussy Willows.
There's no actual pussy.
Fuzzy float. No. There is actual pussy. So to clarify, there is no actual pussy part of a tree. That's what you think. If you had eyes, you would understand. In a literal anatomical sense, it's colloquial, playful term for those soft catkins, especially on pussy. Okay, I think.
So it has nothing to do with what we are looking for.
No, it's fine.
So
okay.
it's like, I think, for what I believe is like when a tree grows, as it grows, like sometimes there's like cracks and holes, and as the tree grows they get bigger, and it creates like a space.
So they
painted like a night sky. It was a night sky, like
shapes,
like
colors.
the picture will be, I sent you the picture. I took
we can
photos,
put the picture
like,
now. We can put the picture now.
So and it's so beautiful, and I have never seen that before in my life. I mean, maybe in some places they do it, like, because, you know, parallel thinking exists, so some artists saw that somewhere else and did that too, but I believe that should be in every city.
And it was one tree.
It was, and now imagine like a park full of trees, just have like paintings on those things. Number one, it can be a tourist attraction. Number two, it will give like an
aesthetic sensation
for the artists. That's a great place to showcase your work.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you don't need canvases, you don't need anything.
Yeah,
it's like
trees, man.
But one thing I will also, please don't go tag trees now. Like don't go and like put graffiti on it.
The paint
like,
has to be
like
organic,
nice.
Biologically, whatever.
It shouldn't like, you know, it shouldn't be like harmful for the tree.
Yeah, and also if this is going to happen, because he talked about it and I got inspired. I called a friend who is a painter. I told her the idea and she was like, we're doing this. And I was like, yeah, we can also talk with the municipality.
Yeah, man.
Make this an event, take people, DJs, dance, make a show, like make a happening out of this. And like for one summer, the Dasui beach for some meters will be like that, the forest of whatever. Like that's now you're a traveling comic. You came to Cyprus in 2 days. You took ideas. You brought ideas, you observed, you counted olive trees, and you gave us something, man. It's like Malinda Perera offered us an idea, and it's about creative adults who have the means and the time and the will and the vision to make it happen. We might be delusional.
Yeah.
It might be.
I mean, like, you see, like, if that happens, like, you know,
I'll be happy.
I won't be benefiting from it. You won't be benefiting from it.
No, it's not about. Oh, we will be though, because it's aesthetic.
Like if I come
to be creative, man.
Yeah, man. If I come to Cyprus and I see that like 10 years from now, and then like this,
you fucking did this. You fucking started it.
Well, I didn't.
You started it.
I just became delusional and thought like,
hey, but that's...
it's like, as a comic, like, we go to places that people ask like, do they even have people in that town?
Yeah.
So it's like, nah, I'm good. That's why I collect shot glasses.
That's how. Because
I took
what Limassol is for you. Where people were
No, maybe, yeah, like, you know, like,
See what people do.
like Limassol was you who put that in my head, like, you know, I was like, hey, I want to come and do a show in Cyprus.
yeah.
The capital is Nicosia, right? So we'll do a show in Nicosia, and you were like, yeah, man, we can do it in Limassol as well.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Let's do it in Limassol too, like, you know.
It's my hometown, man. That's where I started. Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I can see myself living in Limassol.
Well, I can see you being there at
I
the
can't
beach.
say, like, now you, like, people here might be wondering, like, if I'm not, like, pro Nicosia. Like, I honestly didn't have time to see Nicosia. We came in last night, we did the show, and today now we are doing the podcast, and like after lunch I have to leave. So I can't really say
We
much.
just asked the permission of the checkpoint officers last night.
Oh yeah,
to
that's cool, man.
Just walk there. I was like, guys, I didn't bring my ID, but is it okay if I just take them there to see it? And then they left. They let us. How did that hit
Yeah, man.
for you? Like, how did all that situation?
Nah, it was so cool. Like, I mean, first of all, like, you know, I was so glad that they even let
Yeah.
us like go around and see. And then I hate the fact that you didn't bring your ID with you, because then we could have actually gone to the other side. Like, you know. But now since you didn't,
Next
we had
time.
to be on
Next
the
time.
UN buffer zone, right? It's called the UN buffer zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, it's in a small island. It's an experience. It
course.
is an experience. Like, you know, like you see these things, but like nevertheless, man, beautiful place, love it. Like, can't wait to come back. To be honest,
Dude, it was a great discussion. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
What do you think?
we should rub it up.
Rub We should rub it. Is there anything you want to share more before we?
Man, like, if you're watching from Cyprus, please support live comedy. That's the only thing I ask anywhere, man. Wherever you are, like, you know, and this is not to plug my shit, like, you know, like, yeah, I'll be happy if you keep coming to see my shows, but like any comedian, because only like comedians, like I know how much work we put into this shit, so I want every one of us, because like, you know, like these are like, if you go see a show, you're helping a comic, you're helping an artist. As I said, like, you know, most of us have to do every job, right? It's like we don't have a lot. Like, I know, like, some topics that we broach, like we can be talking for like 3-4 hours about this particular topic.
Yeah, of course.
So we didn't had that time. So it's either you supporting your local comedy clubs, your local acts, your like things that happens locally, or big businesses comes with big money and take your money and exploit comedians. That's what's going to happen.
Definitely, yeah.
So support comedy, man. Like, you know, support comedy. You supporting comedy will eventually support us in general as well. And I like, if you took anything from this, like, come see a show when I'm there, like, you know,
Yeah.
and we'll have a good time, like, because, you know, like, I had 2 amazing shows, and I can't wait to do again.
For me, what that creates is a bridge of exchange, like bridges of communication and
Yeah.
exchange. People come in, they see us, they observe us, they bring you ideas, then we go there, we
Yeah,
see
man.
that, we get ideas. And that's the way I think we should deal with this general political global situation where politics and war is drifting us apart, causing us to drift away. We have to react with humor, with creativity, with ideas, and with exchange of humans. We have to travel more, exchange more art, and make it more easily accessible for artists to do residences, create art, because it's like a one-way street. They are taking us on a one-way street, and for me that's the only way to react.
Like, you, if you're an artist, you have to travel, and also if you have the chance, travel.
And if you want to call me delusional, because I said that, it's fine, Malinda.
We are delusional.
It's fine. We are delusional. Thanks for listening, guys.
Cyprus, one love.